Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we have some new crazy Southwest Florida leaks once again. Wow, they're doing such a good job on this game. So I think we last left off, just around here. Yeah, just right about here. But look at these new leaks that we got. Wow. More Porsche leaks. 992 looking amazing. See, the front, the grill over here, and then this was I think this was about the revamp testing, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, sweet bandit. Okay, just some messages here. I think they're just, some kind of random messages. But here is where, these leaks really start. All different types of new tires. So first, we have race tires, best on-road traction, bad rain traction, and bad off-road traction. Then we have sport tires. These are very good on-road traction, not as good as the race tires on-road traction, but it has subpar rain traction, so it's a little bit better in the rain, and then bad off-road traction. And then here we have drag radials, which is, oh my gosh. We're gonna have new drag tires. So, actually, previously, in the Southwest Florida game, right over here, previously, we've had drag tires, you could say, but they never actually did anything to your car. So, I could give you an example. I think, what do I have drags on? I don't even know I don't even know if I have any cars on, any drag tires on cars. Oh, maybe on the GTI actually. Yeah, so look, on the back of my GTI, well, the lighting's not very good. Turn the lights on. But yeah, on the back of the GTI, I don't know if you could see too well here, but these are actually one of the many drag tires in the game right now. But these drag tires, they don't actually do anything to improve your car. They're actually just for looks. But in the revamp, these drag radials have the best on-road traction in a straight line only, and bad rain traction and bad off-road traction. So in the revamp, all of these different tires will, actually do something different. Because, I have to say, it is pretty unrealistic. Like, you don't go to a mechanic shop and ask them for grip tires or ask them for drift tires, because the only tires that we actually have, or the three different types of tires that we have in the game right now are drift, stock, and grip. So the stock ones are just your normal tire. The drift tires are for drifting, like as you can see I have on here. And then the grip tires, like I have on the Golf GTI, are best for grip. But with the grip tires in the game, you have grip everywhere. And with the drift tires in the game right now, you can slide anywhere. But in the revamp, even with, the race tires, you won't just have grip anywhere. You'll probably be sliding in the rain unless you have, all seasons or something. Which, if I do say so myself, that is a very, very cool, addition that will be coming in the revamp. But yeah, let's check out these next tires. So here we have, just your standard tire, good on-road traction, not as good as some of these other tires, but it has the best rain traction and a subpar off-road traction. So, you're probably going to see a lot of people using these tires. They're probably going to be, your standard tire. A lot of people are actually going to use them. And then here we have a mud terrain tire. So here we have bad on-road traction, bad rain traction, but the best off-road traction. which is very cool. You know, we could do some cool off-roading. You know, you could see in the leaks up here, we were gonna get some off-roading places. Like even on this beach would be super fun with those off-road tires. But yeah, these last tires that we actually have here are the all-terrain tires. So the all-terrain tires have subpar on-road traction, good rain traction, and good off-road traction. So I think you're probably gonna have, you know, a good amount of people using this tire also. But here is also some good information. Brake rotors will heat up and glow after braking hard. So in Southwest Florida right now, we don't actually have brake rotors in the game because, you know, we don't have 3D rims. So yeah, we don't actually have brake rotors. But as you can see in, you know, I think we could just use one of these cars as an example, like just I think we could use this as an example. No, actually these don't have them yet. In the new revamped cars, okay, so I just have to scroll down a little bit more to actually find them. But here, you know, I'm actually gonna pause it. And as you could see, I don't think I could zoom in. Here, I'll make it full screen. But as you could see here, these are the brake rotors right here. And actually, if you brake hard, they will glow, which is very, very, very cool. But yeah, that's gonna be, you know, something new coming in the revamp. And then here we have some good information again from Kai. Shout out to Kai here for this information. Car wise, if it's a limited, it will just disappear, and whenever the model is done, it will reappear in your inventory. But if it's not a limited, you will be refunded. Limiteds will not be going back on sale. Okay, so I'm just gonna speak on this quickly. So I actually don't have any limiteds that yeah, I don't really have any limiteds. The only limited that I actually have is, you know, the Huracan STO. But let's just say, you know, for the purpose of this video, if this car wasn't already fictionalized, then, you know, when the revamp came around, they would take it out of my inventory. They would take it out of my inventory, and then when they finished making this model, it would go back in my inventory and stay as a limited. He also said limiteds will not go back on sale, but I'm pretty sure they actually said before that limiteds of car brands that were removed will go back on sale. But I think not, you know, not like this Lambo definitely will not go back on sale because, you know, it's already fictionalized also. But, you know, just say like a M3 GTS, that's a limited, that will not go back on sale because, you know, people still have it in the game. So yeah. So basically, your limiteds will go away when it drops in the revamp, but when they finish the vehicle model, the limited will come back into your inventory. And non-limiteds are gone, and you'll obviously be refunded for them. That's if you own a limited that wasn't finished being made. Yeah. And here's, you know, Joji testing the revamp. New confirmed names and more cars in the fictional vehicle tab. So if you guys don't know, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Southwest Florida wiki, which is super helpful if you want to just, you know, go check out the cars. You know, check out the cars over there. But yeah, so we actually have the BMWs, which are called Hessens, but I do want to clear something up. With, you know, the BMWs or the Hessens, the R3 is actually the M4, and the R4 is actually the M3. So, you know, just like over here, they never actually made an M4 Touring. So, you know, it would just, that's an M3 Touring, but it's R4, but it's M3, if you know what I mean. And this is the S5R, which here, it's actually, you know, it's the truck, it's the X5M, So X is S and M is R. If you haven't noticed already, like M3 or like M, this would be an M3. This would be an X5M. Yeah, so just M is R and X is S, which is very, very cool. I don't mind it. You just try not to get them, mixed up or confused. And here, I actually do like the names for the Jeeps. They're actually cool. Terra Brawler and Terra Rancher. I'm pretty sure they tested the Terra Rancher in the revamp testing, if I'm not mistaken. But here we have more huge information. Southwest Florida beta, content creator testing updates, mechanical updates, engine and performance tuning, new focus on horsepower, HP, torque and acceleration values to closely mimic real life IRL standards, which is very, 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 very cool. Introduction of different octane levels. We're gonna have different fuel that we could put in our car. This is not fully decided, so take it with a grain of salt. And Zeppis aims to code 10 different ways an engine could fail. So wait, we'll be able to blow up engines in Southwest Florida. Oh, for roleplay purposes, that would be very, 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 very cool. I'm pretty sure I actually saw a dev say that, they're trying to make this game more roleplay based, which, I'm all for it. That's very, very cool. But again, this is not fully decided, so take it with a grain of salt. And then we have suspension and tires. Introduction of new working suspension systems with different versions. Implementation of various tire compounds, treads, and temperature effects on performance. See above this post for tread details. So yeah, that was all these tires. But yeah, let's actually look at the suspension here. So wait, before we actually do this, this is the con man. This is him testing it. So shout out to the con man. Again.
Look at that.
But look, so actually, you could see this suspension is crazy. Yeah, so this suspension is crazy. The wheels move so well, and it's very, very, very cool. I think this Jeep is going to be a good off-roading car, but it's actually so cool how the suspension moved, or how the suspension is going to move in this revamp. But yeah.
The drive shaft is spinning.
Yeah.
No
the
way.
drive shaft is spinning. I didn't even realize. Wait, that's actually super, super, super cool. Wow, that's a cool clip. We could actually check out this next one here. Oh, this is actually the different types of suspension. This is the con man going over it again, so shout out to him once again. Okay. Double wishbone suspension. This suspension type is mainly used on performance vehicles. It contains two control arms, one upper and one lower, with a shock absorber or strut between the two. It is also used on pickup trucks and SUVs, commonly referred to as an IFS, which is very, very, very cool. We're gonna have different types of suspensions. So you could actually see the suspension moving here.
Look at that. You can see the control arms and like the shocks and stuff.
Yep, that's very cool.
No way. What is this? Oh my god, there's different tires?
Yeah, there's different tires that, we already went over.
A freaking drag slick? A race tire? Sport tires? Oh my god. Yeah, what is this? We got the solid axle suspension?
This is very cool also.
I don't think it's supposed to be doing that. I can kind of get the gist of it. No way.
Wow, that's cool. I wonder if you'll be able to feel, all the different suspensions. You probably will because of how realistic this game is actually going to be. McPherson, I don't even know, to be honest. Wait, let's actually read that quickly. Let's go back a second. This suspension type is utilized on the front of most modern vehicles. It is characterized by a single lower control arm and a pivoting strut assembly. So yeah, this is actually him testing the suspension on the Jeep, which is very cool. It actually moves, which is absolutely crazy. And you know, this is him going over this again. Yeah, very, 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 very cool. And then this, who actually sent this? Or I don't even know who this. Yeah, I don't actually know who this is here, but shout out to whoever did it. And this is actually a drag strip that they had in the revamp testing, which I do hope actually ends up coming to the game. But yeah, they actually had, you know, a draggy up here too, with like a 0 to 60 and everything like that. So yeah. This car is very, 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 very loud. Oh my gosh. That was very, very cool. That car was super loud, but yeah, that was cool. And then here again, you know, this is him, you know, doing some burnouts and stuff, burning some rubber. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I think it's gonna be a little bit too hard to burn, you know, to burn tire in this revamp. But I mean, I guess he probably doesn't have, you know, the right tire for, you know, burning rubber, but I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out, but yeah, cool video. Shout out to whoever sent those. Economy and gameplay changes. Car and property management. If a car isn't ready for the revamp, limited event code cars will disappear and reappear once updated. All other cars will be refunded. Houses will also be refunded. Introduction of inflation for homes and modifications adjusting to the game's poor economy. Driving mechanics. New restrictions with speed limiters on cars, which can be removed at mechanic shops. Oh, that's super cool. Wait, that means okay, so that's cool. That's very, very cool. Wow, I mean, yeah, so it looks like we'll have speed limiters on cars that we could actually remove, which is very, very cool. I think that would be a fun roleplay idea to actually do in the revamp. But here we have aerodynamics will now play a significant role in driving dynamics, which is cool. I wonder, you know, if we'll actually be able to add wings, like spoilers and stuff in the revamp. I think that would be super cool if they did add that, but I guess we'll see. Sparks are planned to be added, which is very, very cool. Other details. Some upcoming features or adjustments may still be in discussion, such as the specifics of the octane levels and the more dynamic approach to car explosions. Oh, that would be very, very cool. You know, again, car explosions and octane levels. This new revamp is going to be absolutely crazy. But here, you know, we have, I really can't say his name, Zeppis. You know, shout out to him, actually. I'm going to specifically code 10 different ways the engine can kill itself. That's very, 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 very nice. Can't wait for that if that actually comes to the game. Dust, smoke caused by vehicles now moving entirely in a single direction. Oh yeah, so again, this is the con man. Shout out to him once again. But yeah, now we actually have dust, smoke, which is very, very, very cool. Yeah, so we have smoke in the dust, which is cool.
Oh, that's good.
Here we have revamp drop info. Only 50 remade models will be available at the release. Bikes are a future edition. Okay, that's fine. Cars given in the test today: Hessen R4, which would be the M3. Italica, Asturcon Legarezza, which is the Lamborghini Gallardo. And then we have the Terra Rancher, which I think is some type of Jeep. I forget the model. The cars are tuned via Dynograph to IRL. Wait, I'm confused. The cars are tuned via Dynograph. That's confused. Can we tune our own cars? Or I'm confused. Here we have, if it's limited, it will just disappear and whatever the model is on in your inventory. Yeah, we actually already talked about that. Here we have Valk. Shout out to Valk again. Wow. Wow. Another cool video for sure. Here we go. I don't know if you know this answer on my question, but will the Draggy timer will come out at release, or is that just for testing? We are considering it as a purchasable item for vehicles. Oh, that's super cool. We might be able to buy a Draggy for our vehicles. Wait, that's crazy. I don't think Valk is too happy about the differentials not working. You know, we'll just put it that way. He's going to be working on other stuff after he fixes the diffs. But problem is the diffs didn't lock at all. The cars right now are hacked to CMIT, but it's not going to be fixing it. Oh, it's all right. You know, he's going to work on it, I think he's saying. Hello guys, F1 dropped tonight in stringent car development. Not the game. Ooh. Wait, this McLaren F1 is actually pretty nice. Ooh, and here we have it from the back. Wait, this is actually really nice. Oh my gosh. What car is next on the list? Oh, an Evo. A 190e Evo II. I hate the thing. I don't know why, but I mean, that's a cool car. In limited release for SWFL, manual transmissions only. Not soon. In limited release for SWFL. Wait, he just says it. In limited release for SWFL, manual transmissions only. So I think he's saying when the revamp actually comes out, we'll only have manual transmissions. We'll only be able to use a manual transmission, if you know I'm not mistaken. Oh, they're making a GT3. Wait, this is actually looking very nice. Ooh. Wait, this is looking insane. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's looking really good. Wait. Wow. That's looking very, very cool. Is that Lil Ronnie's son? When it's when Booster Experimental comes out to where it's like inching on 2 weeks. Okay. So they're actually saying when boosters actually get to test the revamp, so boosters of the Discord servers, when they get to test the revamp, then the revamp will probably be 2 weeks away. So that's kind of like a benchmark to when the revamp will come out. Yeah, probably booster will be the last phase of testing. Okay. We are probably going to cherry pick people though. Most of OSFR management and probably some long-standing community members. Okay, that's cool. Here we have more Gallardo leaks, which is very, very cool. Wow. Yeah, very, very nice. Wow. Looking very, very, very nice. Hey, wait, is this actually coming to the game? Solar said Kai on his Barbie arc. If that's actually coming to the game, that would be really, really cool. My pictures. Oh, shout out to AO Panda. These are nice photos. But yeah, that is it. That is it for, you know, these New South Wales Florida leaks. But they're actually they're crazy. They're actually so nice. They're doing such a good job. But yeah, you know, they're doing an absolutely amazing job. You know, I couldn't be more happy, and you know, I would just say, you know, be patient. But yeah, that's it for this one. And you know, as always, you know, I would appreciate it if you guys consider leaving a like and or subscribing. But that is it for this one. So peace out. See you guys in the next one.